Hi everyone, good morning. There's Teddy Bear wishing you a good morning. Hi Teddy. And Benji's right beside him. And my name is Rita and this is our show Cricut Chat. And I hope that you can join me today because we are going to be making stickers. You could probably hear my machine cutting in the background. I'm actually cutting some Anna Griffin stickers, but I've done all kinds and I'm so excited about this morning. I know a lot of you are too, based on the feedback that I'm getting on the web and on Facebook. So I wanted to show you all the ins and outs of making stickers. And of course, because I love corgis, I did some corgi ones, but I also like vintage things. So here's some vintage things that I did. I did some from images that are in Design Space. And I also even made these. These are print then cut, but they're stickers, but they're backed by craft board. So I'm going to show you how to prepare. This one's not yet made. I'm going to show you how to prepare them for cutting and printing. You do need a printer to do this, and you do to do print and cut. You cannot use your Joy. The Joy does not do print and cut, but all the Explore machines and the Maker can handle print then cut. There are a few things to know, and I'm going to just say hello to everybody, and then we're going to jump right in to making stickers on our machine. So hello everyone, Emmy, Aladra, Diane, and Kirsten. Oh, hi Tyler, Deborah, Diane, hello Shirley, David, hi, and Alicia. Hi, Susan, Denise, Bren, hello, Shelly. Did I say Emmy? Hi, Emmy. Hi, Deborah Ann. Good morning. So, and to all the people that are joining us, hi, Dawn. You're here. Good. Thank you. It's good to know who's here. If you're new, please introduce yourselves. Hello from La Patrona Ranch in Texas. How's the weather out there today? Is it cooler? Yay! And there's my corgi friend Babs, who has been sharing her corgi stickers with me and has been a bit of a motivator for this project too. Hi, Wendy, all the regulars. But if you're new, we are a very welcoming group. We love to meet new people. So definitely say hello. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear about the weather, La Patrona. So yeah, definitely say hello and introduce yourself because this is a great group. And if you're new, just so you know, we do this every morning at 9 o'clock. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Anna. And we do it at 9 o'clock. We try to run. I try to keep it shortish. I can talk, but and please feel free to ask questions. That's what the live is all about. So I can interact with you and you can get your questions answered. There's no bad question. There's all kinds of wonderful questions. I turned off my AC too, Shirley. Thank you so much for sharing, Susan. Hi, Annette. I have a sister named Annette and it's spelled exactly like that. And Sarah, hi. So, wow, great. Hi, Dawn. Freezing in Canada there, huh? Get your tea ready, Dawn. So this topic. I'm afraid I might go a little long today because there's so much you can do with this, with print and cut, and stickers being one of those print and cut things. And I want to show you there's a bunch of images that you can cut straight from Design Space, and then there is These are some of them that I got from Design Space. They're Anna Griffin planner stickers, but there's also a way that you can take your favorite images from the internet, whether you purchase them or you Google and find them. Now, one thing I want to just caution you about is that a lot of images are copyright protected, and often they are watermarked. That's so that people like us don't just kind of grab them and make stickers out of them. So one of the things, you have to be respectful of the artist, of course, and if they make their images available to you for free, then thank them, let them know. And if they have watermarked them or copyrighted them or something, do them a favor and either purchase the files, whether you do that on Etsy, sometimes you can buy them in different places. But there are a lot of vintage, if you like vintage, there are tons of vintage images that are out there that are, in public domain. Oftentimes designers or people who make what's called kawaii. We talked about kawaii before, which means super cute in Japanese. There's a lot of artists out there that make these images called kawaii, and they share them for free so that individuals. Now, coming from a business background, but also a personal crafter. So I just want to be careful that I mention that because artists are people too, and they need to eat. So that's something that we should always consider. So there are some images on Cricut Design Space. There are images on the internet. I'm going to show you how to find both, how to prepare them, and how to cut them. You will need a printer. I'm using an older HP Envy. I'll be honest with you. It's a cheapie. I'm cheap, I guess. Hi, Penny. Oh, good. You got the cutie? Oh, yay. Take a picture for us. So I'm using just an inkjet printer from HP. There are all kinds of printers on the market that do really great stickers. And I actually do have another one that's not plugged in. That's one of those Echo tanks. Generally speaking, these would use colors from, depending on what you were printing, I guess. And so you have to consider that, the ink and how much ink you use. I actually use the Instant Ink program with HP, and it's basically just renews your ink every so often. It's a cheaper way to do it, but they charge you per page that you print. That's how they do it, HP. So let's talk about print then cut, because print then cut is a little bit different than let me just go, I'm just going to open another project here. Print then cut's a little bit different than cutting, just straight cutting with the Cricut. Now I'm bringing up this, it's the calendar, just simply because I never have a fall calendar, first of all. But second of all, I showed you these way back in January. Now, these here, the way they're showing are they're the print and cut version. But let me show you where you'd find them, because they are in the regular cut type of file. So if you go to images and you type 2020 calendar, you will find them here along with a number of others. So I really loved this particular calendar, but it was very time consuming. So let me just bring this one in to show you. I don't know, it's May. Okay, so it was really time consuming to cut and then put together because there are so many layers here. Let me ungroup it so that you can see. So I'm going to ungroup it, and you'll notice it has this frame and then this frame 2. So there's another frame 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then all these little pieces. So that's a lot of cutting and a lot of placing of your items. It becomes extremely thick. And when you're putting it together, it's really, really thick, and you don't need, what's great about it is it's not like floppy thin. It is really beautiful, but it was very time consuming. So of course I didn't do it for the whole year. I'm just going back to where we started so that we can see where we started from. So there's a lot to do, and it's certainly beautiful to do, and it would have made a nice gift too. And every year, by the way, every year Cricut publishes a free calendar. So this is this year's calendar. I think this year's calendar is probably the most intricate that I've seen since they've been doing this, and I think at least 5 years I've been working with their calendars. And this one here, just so beautiful. But one of the things that was suggested to me way back in January was, hey, maybe you can do them as print and cut. And I thought, well, that's just perfect. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. Yes, it's 9/11. I will mention that it is 9/11. I actually survived 9/11 myself from Boston, and I am respectful and understanding, but if I did take time off for every single holiday, including Veterans Day and Memorial Day, then that's, we would very rarely get on. Not everybody spends an entire day for those holidays showing respect. They do it in different ways. So sorry to get off that, on that tangent. So, I will say 9/11, a very important holiday, and it was a very tragic thing, and but life does go on, and we have to continue to show that life goes on. So anyway, let's get back to this. So print and cut. So here's what you can do. So if you pull in an image, and this one, as I said, has 12 layers. What you can do is you can turn it into a print and cut image. The easiest way to do that is to do what's called flatten the image. And I'm going to show you over here, down here. This is flatten. So what you need to do is to just, go here and select your image and then choose flatten, and you'll notice the image looks different because basically it takes all of those layers and flattens them down to one layer. And that is how to flatten an image if it's not already flattened, okay? So sometimes you will find print and cut and it's already set for printing. And you notice once I flattened it over here, it says cut and then print on all of these. These are all cut. And when I thought about doing this as print and cut, I thought, well, I could just print it on regular paper, but it would be really thin. So I decided to print it on sticker paper. So here's sticker paper. Let me show you. Okay, so this is printed on sticker paper, and it is sticky on one side. And then what I did was I cut out this. This is called craft board, and it's a nice thick board. They do sell that on Cricut. You can use chipboard if you wanted to. And then so I cut this one out, and then I print and cut this one. And so I want to show you how to just put it on there. It creates a nice thick calendar. So here's the October calendar. Now, let's see. The paper that I use for Prints and Cut is a sticker paper that I got from Amazon. But your mileage is going to vary. And actually, I wanted to recommend a place online where you can get sticker paper. And this sticker paper that I have is a matte finish. Let's just go and look at this place. It's called Online Labels. And I wanted to just point out because it's going to make your stickers look a little different. Now, Cricut does have sticker paper, and I have to say that I don't really like it. I usually like all of Cricut's products, but their sticker paper is really super thick, and I have such a hard time getting it into my printer, or getting it out of my printer, I should say. So I'm just going to show you. I have a lot of different options here, and this one here is the Cricut Printable Sticker Paper. It's matte, but look at how thick it is. It's incredibly thick, and I just can't get it through my machine. Now, it's possible that my printer is just kind of old and can't do it, but it is really, really super thick. They do also have this. This is old. I picked this up at Joann's. These are little magnet sheets, which are kind of cool, but the magnets are not very strong. So they're kind of cute, but maybe not so much, okay? And let's see. They also have had printable fabric and printable vinyl. I have done something in this printable vinyl. It's pretty good. Now, all of these are matte finish, and I wanted to show you this one here. This one is still available from Cricut. It's more shiny. It's clear. Okay, so I did try this shiny clear one that I got at Joann's. Looks an awful lot like a Cricut product, and I got to tell you, did not work for me on my printer. But again, like I said, your mileage may vary. This is very shiny and really cool, and I thought it would turn out great, and it does say on there works with inkjet printers, but it did not work on my inkjet printer. See, it says works with inkjet printer. But this company here, let me just go over here. This company is called Online Labels. Here we go. So onlinelabels.com. I've actually been ordering from this company for years because when I had my business, my soap business with we used to do creams and stuff like that. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that your printer doesn't like the Cricut sticker paper too. And normally I always recommend the Cricut products, but I just can't recommend it for this application. I mean, it might be good for something else, but it's just not really worth it. So this company, Online Labels, has every kind of label you can imagine in every kind of finish you can imagine. So they have things that are sheet labels, and if you just shopped by their size, and I'm just going to go there so you can see it, you can see that they have everything from circles to rectangles to squares, ovals, and they even, I think, even have like heart-shaped and, yeah, look at this, Christmas trees, and this is one looks like tags. And if you continue to scroll all the way down, you will find they get bigger and bigger and bigger until you go to, here are the ones that is like on one sheet of paper. And these are 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. So they'll fit into a printer. And if you continue to scroll down, you will see 8.5 by 11, this one, which is one label per sheet. So when you're shopping for labels, do consider you want it to be able to go into your printer. So this is an 8.5 by 11 printable sticker paper, and it's all sticker. Let me get you an example of what it is like. I actually placed an order for this last week. It hasn't come yet, but I'm assuming, yeah. And I was going to just mention, Linda, Avery has a nice full sheet label as well. The thing I like about online labels is that it gives you an opportunity to buy them in different materials. And so this is what you would get from online labels. It's a full sticker like this. And it's nice and thin. It goes really easily into the printer. But also note that they do have, that's called standard white matte, but they do also have a gloss. And be careful when you're purchasing that you're buying for the kind of printer that you have. I think most people, because of the cost of laser printers, most people do have inkjet printers. Laser printers are more of a business thing. They're quite a bit bigger and usually far more expensive. So, but they do cater to a business crowd. So definitely when you're purchasing, consider the printer it's good for. So as you get into, say, like this clear glossy paper, make sure you're choosing the inkjet or laser printer depending on which printer you have. Okay, and they also do have it in a bunch of different colors. Now personally, colors, the darker you go, especially for colors, it's going to be difficult, and I'll show you in a minute why. And then you'll also note the standard white matte, which goes for inkjet and laser, are the cheapest. So you can get 100 sheets of this for $12.95, and I think they have free shipping. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I paid for shipping or not, but I'm still waiting for my package, and I ordered it last week. They're usually a little quicker, but I think because of COVID, things have slowed down. So, so consider that if you want to save money, the matte, the white matte is probably the cheapest. But if you wanted glossy, you can go with a white gloss, and you can get 10 sheets for $12.50, which isn't terrible. Do they have vellum? I don't think so, Susan. I haven't seen it in vellum. It's like they have foil, gold foil, silver foil, and all different colors. Whoops. Someone's going by the door. So yeah, a good deal for $12.95 for 100 sheets. Even if they offer, I think they have free shipping, to be honest, and it's a low threshold. Okay. So anyway, so that's online labels. Also Avery, which I can go and show you. Avery has a number of wonderful different labels available, which are available like at Staples and the local office supply places. So if you don't want to order online, you can go to maybe Staples or even Walmart, and they might have the full sticker paper. So in this particular case, don't buy the Cricut product if you're wanting to make stickers. It's just really too thick and probably won't go through your printer. So let's go back to Cricut Design Space. So this Avery has a website, avery.com, and that other one is onlinelabels.com. So let's go back to Cricut Design Space. So you see here, what I did was I just flattened the image so that I can print it, and it will print big on my printer. Let me show you. Size is something you got to consider. So let me just hide these ones. Group them and hide them because I want to show you how this one looks. Okay. So what I did for this, just so you know, is I did cut out craft board because I didn't know what to do with this kind of floppy, and I thought craft board would be nice if I put it on here and then maybe put a little bit of baker's twine on either side and made a little kind of a nook area. And you can go fairly big and pretty small. So the maximum space that Cricut allows is 9 1/4 by 6 3/4. So when you size this out, you do need to be careful of that, and it cannot exceed either of those. So if you wanted to make the maximum, you could only do, say, for instance, the maximum is 9 1/4, and the height, I made the width 9 1/4, but the height is too big. 7.5 basically. So if you go and resize it and you try to make it, you're going to get this message that says project incompatible. That's because even though the width is within range, the height is not. So this is not like with the Joy where only one of the parameters mustn't exceed 4.25. Both parameters have to fit within that space. So I would suggest that you take the smaller of the two and try with the maximum of 6 3/4, and then you will have the width will adjust appropriately, and that's what you'll end up with. And that's a pretty good size. So when you go to make it, here's what you'll see. You'll see these are called registration marks, these black box. So when you first see it, you're like, I didn't put those there. Why are those there? That is so that the Cricut can then cut out, after it's printed, could then cut out your image after it's printed. So that's all you want to do at this level. Now, if you're doing smaller stickers, here's where you can let's go back. Let me show you. I'm going to save this. And let me show you the... okay, so these are printable stickers. All right, we're going to save it. Now, when I did a search for stickers, I found things like this, which are all a whole sheet of stickers, and this is also a whole sheet of stickers. But then I also found these individual images, right? I found this little mermaid corgi, a unicorgi, and then just one looking back, and this one sort of begging, looks like teddy bear. So when you are doing the ones that are shaped in a sheet shape is when you have to be careful about that width and the height. So in this particular case, I printed these at, I'm trying to look at the screen, 6 3/4 width and a height of almost 9 inches. Okay. Same with this one, 8.5 inches. But when I'm working with these guys, which are individual ones, they can be sort of any size you want. So let me show you what I mean. Now, they might look small on your screen, but consider when they print out how big they're going to be. And I'll give you an example. Now, these are Cricut Design Space images that I flattened. These are Halloween ones, and I flattened, and I can show you where to find those. And I thought that when I first did them, let me see how big they are. 2.5, a maximum. It was like 2 3/4, and I thought that seems about right. But they are pretty big. So then when I went to do the corgi mermaid ones, I changed it to, let's see, more like 2 inches. And I could go even smaller than this, but consider that before you go to print it. So there's a sticker right there. So when you're on the canvas, consider the size. If you have like an individual one that you want to make duplicates of, try to keep the measurement about 2 inches or less, maybe 2.5 inches or less. And let me show you why. So I already printed these guys. So let's do one that we haven't done. So here's one we haven't done, and we're going to hit make it. So when you're first doing it, and you have just one here as a copy, but you want multiple, you do not need to duplicate on your canvas. You can duplicate here on your preparation mat. So I would go up here and change my project copies to, I don't know, let's say 12, just because I want to see how many are going to fit on one sheet, all right? So I'm changing my project copy to 12. And woo, look at, I can get 12 fit on this page. Probably if I try for 15 for another row, yep, the other row will go to the next sheet. So 12 is the maximum of this particular image that I'm going to get. Now, it doesn't use the entire sheet of paper. I'm told that they're working on that, and I'm also told that there are ways to sort of trick it out. So I just know that you're going to have a little bit of extra when you're done. You can actually cut it off and use it for another thing, but there is going to be some extra on the page. It does not take up the full sheet, okay? So once you get it the way you want it, and I have 12 stickers here, I'm going to hit continue. And the first thing that you're presented with is this green box, and it says send to printer. Now, your printer needs to be somehow connected, whether it's AirPrint or actually physically connected to your computer. And a lot of the newer ones have AirPrint. I'm trying to think. I think this one here is actually physically connected. So we're going to hit send to printer, and you will see this is like a regular print dialog box. Okay, so here's my old HP Envy. I'm going to make one copy, and here is important. Add bleed. Now, what is bleed? Bleed is the area around each individual image. Okay. Yep, you can make duplicates. What if you want a white border around the image? Can't figure it out. The image has to come with the white border when you find, and I can show you how to do that. It's a little more advanced technique, Yolanda, but yeah, I know what you mean. So you may want to not include bleed. I like my stickers really cut close. I don't like that white thing, but I think if I tried and did no bleed, then it would allow for that whiteness. What bleed means basically is it sort of goes beyond the size of the print here, right? And then when it cuts it out, so there's no edge around the sticker. Do you see what I mean? So in that case, you might want to choose to turn the bleed off. We can try that, actually. We can try turning off the bleed, okay? So now I'm just going to print this, and it's going to take a minute for it to come out of my computer, and then I'm going to get my mat ready. Now, this next part, it depends on the product you're using. So this is why it's important to, first of all, you have to play, and you have to give yourself permission to make mistakes, because I know a lot of people are like, I ruined it. No, it's not ruining if you do it and it didn't work out. You're learning how to make good judgments. That's all. So in this particular case, when I first started, I was choosing sticker paper for the material, and it was cutting all the way through, and it was basically not working out for me. So here's my page of my little corgis. They're actually a little bit bigger than I thought. So again, you got to kind of eyeball it, right? So I was using here sticker paper, which also can be found when you do browse all materials, and you could type in sticker paper, okay? But I found for this particular sticker paper that I have, which is just a plain matte, and I want for the backing to stay on once I'm done cutting, I want this backing to stay on, I'm going to peel off the stuff that's already cut. But if I want the backing to stay on, I found that washi paper or washi sheet, this here, is a better setting for me. Now, this is one of those, your mileage may vary, okay? So in terms of, you know, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. But for me, I found that the washi setting definitely is better for the stickers. So let me show you. I chose washi sheet. And if you don't know what washi is, it's really just, it's a sticky paper that's very thin. It's thinner than sticker paper. But for some reason, I mean, Cricut just doesn't have this correct in terms of their settings. Some people have experienced this with vinyl, where they might cut vinyl on washi or some other things, okay? So just be aware that sometimes when you choose a setting, it might not be exactly what you want, and you might need to play with it, and that is okay. And will it ruin your project? No, it won't ruin your project, but you'll learn from it, and you'll just, you know, kind of go from there, okay? So here we're going to put this into the machine. I'm going to move you. So I'm using a maker, but you can use your Explorer. As I mentioned, you cannot use your Joy for this. Joy doesn't do print then cut because it doesn't have a sensor. When this goes on, I'll show you what I mean. So right now, the machine is doing is it's doing a sensor, like it's sensing. You see that light that comes on? That light that comes on is what it's doing is reading that black box, the registration mark. So it's determining where it needs to cut out within that box. So it does measure all four sides in different places, and it just, you know, does a little calculation. I don't know how it really actually works, but it does do this little calculation, and then it goes off for a second. And you think right there, that's it going off, and you think, oh my God, did it stop? But then it starts again, and it does the cutting. So here it goes, and it's going to cut around each individual shape to create this sticker. And again, really do consider the material you're using. Personally, I think this sticker is a little too thin for me, and I want a thicker one that I think I'm going to get from Online Labels. And again, this is the same process no matter what you use. I had to do this. If you have a small piece left, and yeah, you can use it, but not reuse it in your printer. Because remember, I mean, unless you have a printer that can take pieces of paper that are less than 8.5 by 11, you can save that spot, and I'll show you. You can save it and use it for something else, including you could cut something out on your Cricut using the mat with that leftover piece, if that makes sense. So you can have actually the bottom of your whatever you're making be a sticker, and you could build on it, kind of like what we did with the window cling yesterday, where we had vinyl and then the bottom layer was window cling, so it made our window decoration be removable and repositionable. You could do a similar thing with your leftover. I know, right? I had him up here for decoration, but I couldn't see my screen. So there's my little kitty cat. So it's cutting it out, and I'm going to like move over here to show you how it. Let me move this stuff. So it's done cutting out, and let me move you over so you can see what I mean. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. So what kind of paper am I using, Joanne? Okay. So you can, first of all, if you missed any part of this, you can always go back. I am using a sticker paper that's 8.5 by 11. It's a sort of thin, and I am waiting for my order from Online Labels, but I kind of wanted a thicker paper, and this one I got from Amazon, okay? And I think it's a little thin, but I didn't want to wait any longer to show you guys this project. So here's my sheet of stickers that I just did. I printed them on my printer. I put them through my machine. Sorry, you're a little crooked here. So I put them through my machine, and let me show you. You would just pick up the corner here, and you might have to, use your fingers so that they sort of come off like this, or just to get them started. But basically, here is the sticker. Now, for those people that wanted to save the product, you can sort of cut right under here and save this part. And this is a sticker that you could put through the machine. Fine. I would choose, for mine, I would choose washi setting. So there is the part that we can't reuse. And here are the stickers. See that? So cute. Oops, the little piece on the bottom. So cute. Let me get real close so you can see it. Now, this project, as I mentioned, can be done, these stickers can be done with both Cricut Design Space images, which are these. These are Anna Griffin Cricut Design Space images that are great for planners. So here are those little flags that are printed in her signature colors. So if you're a planner person, or you even want to decorate cards or something, you can find these images. I'm going to show you where to find them. These are already set up to be print then cut. And then you have images that most images can be changed to print then cut. So this was a cut image. So there were layers. There's, in this particular, let's look at this one, there were actually 2 layers of orange and black. So it would, if I cut it out, it would have been 3 layers, okay? But I flattened the image, and I used this stuff, and I made, I think this is actually printable. Is this the printable vinyl? Yeah, it's printable vinyl. So it's got a different feel. It's harder to, that's vinyl. See that? Vinyl. But and I don't want to ruin one of my corgi stickers, but I will for the sake of experimentation. This was done on sticker paper, and it rips because it's paper. So you can do this printable vinyl stuff, you can do this paper, but you just have to be careful when you choose whatever you choose for a setting for cutting, okay? So again, these all came from either Design Space, or they came from the web. And again, just to reiterate, do be careful when you're using other people's designs. Usually Google will tell you, is this copyright protected, or check to see if it's copyright protected. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And here I'm going to just show you how to apply this instead of it being a sticker that I put like on a book or a notebook or something. Here's what I did with this calendar. I cut it out, I printed it and cut it out, and then I cut out a piece of this craft board, which is great stuff. And I'm just lining it up with my craft board. It's the same exact size. Let's see. Here we go. All right, and just press along, and there I have my November calendar that I can, again, put like a piece of string or baker's twine in there, and then there you go, you have a calendar that comes from Print Then Cut. All right, so let me show you about images, and I'm going to move you up here. Let me show you about where to find images. As I mentioned, the images can come from Cricut Design Space. They can either be already prepared as a printable. I have to move my kitty cat because he is in the way. Okay, so they can come from the Cricut Design Space. They can come from the web, or you can actually buy them like on Etsy and stuff. Someone's asking, I think Babs is asking about this vintage image. So I'm going to show you how to look for them on the web. I do it on my iPad because I find it's so much easier to do it on my iPad. Yes, you can do with the pumpkin stickers. Can this be done with iron on vinyl? Yes. You have to, again, when you're cutting it out and putting it through your printer, you got to make sure that it goes through the printer. And then when you're cutting it out, you choose whatever setting that you're using. So I can't give you the definitive, this is how you do it, but just keep in mind that you have to change the settings to accommodate the type of material you're actually printing on. Okay. All right. So let's just talk about Cricut Design Space images. So I'm going to go into images, and I am going to show you, as we showed you the calendar, but I'm going to show you the Anna Griffin ones because she has some really beautiful print then cut images that I really, really love, and I think would make great additions to cards or envelopes or whatever else. So for instance, there is this Christmas greetings, and it has some really beautiful, and if you've seen Anna Griffin cards, this is perfect for like a sentiment to put on the outside. Yes, Christy, you do have to calibrate. Thank you for bringing that up, and I will show people how to do that, okay? Yes, there is printable HTV. Got to be careful what you buy, because I did buy some, and it was crap. It was crap. So, so in addition to these already designed to be printed, so here's some that are already designed to be printed. Here, these window box cards, these are all printables. Here are some printables here. And what you would do is you would just pull them into Design Space. So if you wanted to, say, make a bunch of stickers that had these little sentiments on them that you would then put on your completed card, this is where you would go. You go to image sets, you type in Anna, and then you can go in each of their individual things and just click on them, and they will come into your to your canvas, and they'll already be prepared to print. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm just pulling 4 of them in. Let's see. Come on, computer. Let's see. Why is it taking so long? Oh, here or there. Okay, they do come in a pretty big size. So this is where you have to sort of gauge, what am I using this for? This one here comes in at 3x4. That's pretty big for a 5x7-inch card. So you might want to make it smaller. Maybe you want something around 2 inches. Same with these flowers. I mean, I know it's sort of a weird thing because you're thinking, okay, I'm going to put this on a card, but on the canvas, you don't realize how big it is. So you have to kind of think, what's my finished design going to be so that I can resize them. But they are already ready to be printed and cut, as I can see over here on the layer section. Now, let's say I just want to do those Halloween ones, any image. For instance, I go to holidays and I choose Halloween, and I choose, let's choose this one because it's so colorful. So this is going to come in as a cut file. So if you want to switch it to a print file, you have to pull it into Design Space. Let me move these guys. See how big it comes in? So it's set up as a cut file. How do I know it's set up as a cut file? Well, on the right-hand side here, in my layers tab, in my layers column, you see this is the actual thing. So it's going to cut out black, white, pink, teal, yellow, and black again. So if you wanted to cut this out, no matter what size, it would cut out in all those different mats. But if you wanted to make it a sticker, probably a smaller sticker, but if you wanted to make it a sticker, then you would go and flatten the image. Again, go down here on the bottom and you hit flatten and notice the image. It doesn't look that much different, but when you look over here, I went from those 6 layers to just 1 layer, and it changed to cut and then like a little hyphen thing, print. So now when I go to actually cut this, it's first going to go into my printer. Okay, so that's how you would take either the image is already set up to be printed. To be printed, or you can take another image and change it to a print file. Okay, so that's how you do it in Cricut Design Space. Now on the web, if you can't find what you're looking for on Cricut Design Space, which again, they only have a couple of corgi things, and you know I'm a corgi fanatic, right? So on the web, what I have done is either I have gone to Etsy, and I'm working on my iPad because it's so much easier, but I've gone to Etsy, which is etsy.com, and I've looked for images, like for instance, I've typed in corgi kawaii. It's all about your different image searches. So this one here is also on Google. So go to Google, whether it's in the app or if it's on the web here, and you're going to start searching. So you'll see here are some of the other things. Corgi kawaii I've tried free sticker files, free vintage fairy clip art, free vintage pansy clip. So the words clip art, printables, sometimes I use free a lot, I use vintage a lot, and then I also use kawaii. But let's do, someone was asking about the vintage Halloween. You can use stickers, you can use clip art. It's really just the kind of thing where I actually sit at night while I'm watching TV. Really, Emmy? I'd have to see that. Emmy's saying every time she tries to flatten an image, it turns all one color. I'd have to see that. It sounds to me like you're using attach and not flatten, but we'll have to look at that, okay? So here's what I did. I typed in vintage Halloween clip art. For the most part, vintage images are in public domain, so you don't have to worry too much. And you'll see that there actually are a number of, these are like subcategories. So they have Victorian, they have public domain, they have pumpkin. So you can just sit and search, or you can see if you find something here. You click on it and it shows you this like split screen, and these are the images. Now some, like I said, some images are protected, and that means like this one here is definitely protected because it has a watermark around it. So the person that created this file from Vintage Images doesn't want you to just clip it from the web, which is fine. They want you to buy it, and it will tell you underneath where you can buy it. If you don't want to spend the money, you can continue to look and see. And Pinterest is a place where you can maybe find some of the things. So here's some vintage images. And is this the one that I did? This looks like, yeah. So this one here was done by, it was called Free Vintage Halloween Sheet. So there it is. And what I did was I press on it. This is on my iPad. And I add it to my photos. Okay. So now go down here And let's go to my photos. Now you see, I did all of these images, my photos. So I saw these pumpkins, I like pansies, I love flower fairies, I love all these fairies. It doesn't mean just because you found it on the internet, it's gonna work, by the way, because some of these images come in kind of crappy. Depends on how they originated. So don't get your hopes up that one of the image, you found the perfect image, because I will show you what happens there. So now now that I found some images that I like, I'm on my Cricut Design Space app. I'm going to go to the canvas, and then I am going to choose Upload. Okay, and it says, take a photo, select from a photo library, browse files, or open unuploaded images. Now, you can take a photo, so if you have something you like, you want to take a photo, you can do it with your iPad. But in this particular case, I'm going to select, and here I wanted to, hold on. Touched the wrong button. Okay, I'm going to select from the photo library. So up comes my camera roll or my photo library, and I choose whichever one. So here it is. This is the one that's vintage. Okay. Now, the background stuff you have to get rid of, and you can do that by choosing remove and clicking on that, and you see it kind of changes. There might be other little areas that you want to remove. For example, this writing. So I use the erase button like this, and you can make the erase smaller or larger like that. And I'm just erasing this lettering. Being careful about it. Okay, so once I've cleaned it up, now you see that this is showing the cut, okay, the single cut, okay? But what I want to do is I'm going to hit next, and I'm going to hit this file, because this is going to be a printable file, okay? So we don't really want this cut file. We want the print file, and you can still refine it by despeckling and smoothing. And then next, you get the choice. This is my cut image. If I just want to cut it, obviously it doesn't have the details. That's not what I want. So I'm going to select this one, and then I have to name it because it's a file you're uploading. So I can name it Vintage Halloween. Okay. And then it will bring you to all of your uploaded, or it brings you to all of the images. So the next step would be to bring it into your canvas, right? And insert into your canvas. This is where you would adjust the size. And let's see, you would do it on the iPad down here. Edit, width, and height. Remember, for print then cut stickers, the maximum is 9 1/4 inches by 6 3/4 inches. Okay. So here I can just go ahead and resize this any way that I like, and I can do it up to the 6 3/4. So here it is, 6 and almost 3/4, 6.35. I'm sorry, 3.75. And then the height is 8.81. And now I'm ready to print this and then cut it just the way that I showed you. So this is just to show you how to find an image on the web, but please, please, please be very careful about copyrights. Even if it's not watermarked or says that it's copyright, do be careful about how you want to use images. I say that not just if you're going to sell, but if you're going to also make for your own personal use. A lot of times, people who create these images will say, use it for your personal use. That's fine. But they don't want you to make money off of it. And sometimes they do want to charge you for it, and they might want to charge, depends on how you want to do it. So in this case, I am ready to make it, and I just follow the procedure that I showed you, right? So here it is, and I would go ahead and print it. Here's the print button, so I can print it. It comes up with that dialog box. I would select the printer. I don't even know if my printer is on there, but if it were, I would choose that, and then I would print it. Now, if you want to start off with the iPad and then go back to your desktop, this is what I do. So I'm looking for images on the web at night, and so I save them to my photos, and then I bring them in. I create my own little file, and then I'll save it. So in this case, I'll save, and I'll name it Halloween Vintage, okay? And one more step that I'm going to show you, okay? So I'm going to save it to the cloud. Now I'm saving it to the cloud, not to the iPad. That's really important. So I saved it to the cloud. Now I'm going to bring you up here, and this should work. I hope it works. I'm going to go to a different screen, just to be on the safe side, okay? So then if I'm done with, save this just because, I'm done with whatever I was doing on my canvas on my desktop. I'm saving it, and I'm going to do new and go to my projects, because this is why you have the cloud. And it should show up. Maybe it's just not showing up for this particular tutorial, but this is another one that I did where I found vintage holly. It's like vintage holly things for Christmas, and I brought them in and saved them, and then I can print them. So if you have both a desktop and an iPad, you can do this sort of mix and match, okay? So sorry to take a few extra minutes today, but and there's a lot to cover, and maybe we need to do yet another one of these for more advanced, but I will think about that going forward. Tomorrow for date night, okay? We are going to be putting together a very large paper pumpkin. Now, this file is from SVG cuts. There is an expense to it, okay? I don't know what it is, but I think it's like about $3 or $4. So if you want to follow along, I am going to list the paper pumpkin, okay, on my page so that you can follow along. It requires a lot of cardstock, some glue, and a little bit of patience, but it is a fabulous project. You can do it in whatever color you want. I've done them in like a cream color. I've done them in black. I've done them in various shades of pumpkin. So adorable. And it's from SVG Cuts. I will post a link a little bit later in the day. So if you want to join me, and if you don't want to actually do it, you can still come to date night, which is at 7 o'clock on Facebook. It's live, 7 o'clock tomorrow, and we will be putting this really enormous. It's so beautiful. You're going to really love it. And it's really amazing. And you can see what you can do with paper. It's pretty amazing. All right, everyone. Thank you for your patience today. And thank you for coming. We'll see you again tomorrow night for date night at 7 o'clock here on Facebook live. See you then. Take care. Have a great day, everyone.